He did make me an offer.
We'll make him an offer he can't refuse.
Hello friends and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily cringe content anywhere on the internet. Promise, swearsies, it's just a fact and it's totally science. Go ahead and look it up if you want. Today we're diving into rSlash NeckbeardStories. Yes indeed, we have a return of BOWLERBEARD and I am just so delighted to see it. User ARABIAN, a big, happy, hearty welcome back. I know that she's been spearheading a beardfic collaboration in my Discord server, which is pretty cool, but I'm glad to see that BOWLERBEARD hasn't been dropped completely because he is just delightful. In the same way that the Kevins are delightful, you can just kick back, have a laugh, don't have to worry about anything too weird happening, just enjoy the neckbeardy obliviousness. So today we've got him entering a Warhammer tournament. It seems like a pretty long post. I probably won't have a lot to say as I've played one game of Warhammer in my entire life, lost horribly. But it should be an enjoyable read as all of these BOWLERBEARD stories seem to be. So let us get some plugs and disclaimers out of the way and then we will dive right into some NeckbeardStories cringe. The Ballad of BOWLERBEARD, Part 8. My goodness, we've been going for a while with this one. And this one is called The Tournament. Now, dear readers and listeners, let us journey back to the early days when I had first met Monk and BOWLERBEARD. This story takes place as Monk and I were still brand new in our relationship. I had casually met BOWLERBEARD once or twice before this event, but I hadn't really gotten to know him yet, or the rest of the boys. You will of course recognize most of our cast. In this story, they're all just younger versions of their current selves. If you haven't seen or heard parts 1 through 7 of The Ballad of BOWLERBEARD, you really need to do some catching up. Got a long way to go. Please visit my Reddit page at user/ARABIAN to read them, or you can listen to them on ReddX's YouTube channel. He does an amazing job of bringing these characters to life and giving them some personality. He's a sweet and funny guy who cares about his audience. Aww. So please be sure to check out all his other videos as well. Lots of great Neckbeard stories and some other content like Creepypasta, which is a favorite of mine. Wink. Hey, did you know that I have a Creepypasta channel? It's currently at 500 and something subscribers. It's called Dayton Dies, and if I get to 1,000 and get it monetized, then I'll probably pick that mantle back up again, make Creepypasta a thing. So if you're not subscribed there, maybe, check it out. Give me some motivation to keep doing that thing. If you're into creepypasta, it's really like a different vibe. I go super serial with it, not a whole lot of side commentary. Anyways, for those who have been waiting for the next BOWLERBEARD installment, I do apologize for the long wait. Life has gotten busy, and I've also been working on another project with some of the others on ReddX's Discord server. Hey, I plugged this already. Which has been eating up time, but it will be amazing once it is finished. Yes, we need some quality beard fiction. It's about the end of the world and the beard apocalypse, and I haven't participated, but I'm super excited to narrate it and all that. Sadly, there's just never enough hours in the day. Feel that though. Anyways, links are as follows. OP's Reddit user page, yes indeed. ReddX's YouTube channel, Part 1, Part 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7. Wow, we are pumping some videos out, I'm gonna tell you that. Bless ARABIAN for making it all possible. Babe, I really want you to come and hang out with me at BOWLERBEARD's Warhammer tournament. All my friends are gonna be there, and it'll be a great way for you to get to know them all. My boyfriend, young Monk, exclaims over the phone. I don't know. I've never even heard of Warhammer before. Plus, it doesn't sound like a lot of fun to just watch you guys play a board game, I say, as I imagine how exciting it would be to watch people play a game of Monopoly or the game of life. It's not like a normal board game, babe. It's tabletop, and it's a recreation of like a real war. Well, a real war with like magic and dragons and stuff. Monk says. The strategy in Warhammer is sick as hell. You could apply it to a real war as long as you're not expecting people to, breathe fire or something. Fine, since it means so much, I'll come tomorrow. It starts at noon, I ask. You rock, baby! I'm so excited that you'll get to see me in action. Yeah, I'll send you the address so you can meet me there, he says. Now, remember, we had just started dating at this point, so it wasn't that off-putting for me to be bringing my own car. That means I had the opportunity for a quick escape if things got super boring like I expected. That's a big brain play. We exchanged the regular puppy love goodbyes and sweet talk before hanging up. As the next day comes, I decide that I need to make a good impression on Monk's friends. So I get up extra early to go to the store to pick up some ingredients and make some food to bring over. In my culture, it's considered polite to bring a dish of something over for get-togethers. A Warhammer tournament qualifies for this, right? I think it does. Usually it's just a bag of Doritos, but whatever you're making sounds way better. So I spend my morning shopping and cooking. Monk and I have been texting throughout the day, and he swears that there will be plenty of food there, but my Filipina pride won't allow me to come empty-handed. I made a noodle dish called pancit, and the ever-popular Filipino egg rolls known as lumpia. Oh snap, I just had some lumpia for dinner. Fish lumpia, yes indeed. Rolling lumpia is an arduous, time-intensive task, but my mom, the angel that she is, jumped in to help me out. Thank you, Mom. And thank you, wifey. Bless her, she spent the whole afternoon making up lumpias just so I could sit there and stuff my face. No special occasions, she just decided that's what she's gonna do today. God, she's so wonderful. Once we got all that done, I left the actual frying of the lumpia up to my mom while I went to get ready. I decided that I should dress in something cute to make a good first impression, so I picked out my favorite sundress. Oh, you know how I feel about sundresses. A little white strappy one that's covered in sunflowers. It falls to just above my knees, and I paired it with some wedge sandals. I shower, do my hair, my makeup, get dressed, and head out to my mom. How do I look? I ask with a little twirl. You look beautiful, honey. You said this was a gaming tournament that Monk invited you to? Your dad used to play a lot of poker with his friends when he was still alive, Mom said. Sort of, Mom. Yes, but no. I don't really understand it, but Monk said he'd explain it to me there. It's not Pusoy or dominoes. He said they use these little models to reenact battles, so it's like a war game, I said. Oh, that's nice, dear. I'm sure it'll be fun. Hopefully this is enough food, she said, eyeing the trays of food with some worry. She helps me carry the food out to my car, an old Toyota Celica from the 80s that had the flip-up lights, only one of which worked. So my car always looked like it was winking at people. Those flip-up lights are super cool, but there's a reason they went out. I love this car, but it had so many issues. In fact, our family mechanic even installed a hidden push start button that bypassed the key because the starter didn't work correctly. So the key was just for show. Thankfully, no car thieves ever figured this out. Our mechanic knew that I was a struggling college student, so he always made sure to figure out the cheapest way to fix things for me. Thank you, Tito. That's a good mechanic. You gotta hold on to a mechanic that's like honest with you and shit. Oh gosh, I'm getting freaking nostalgic writing this one. It's bringing back a lot of memories. We get old way too fast. Oh, preach. For the younger members of the audience, cherish these times and make the most of them, as you will always remember them. Anyways, the food was loaded. I give my mom a goodbye hug, and off I go to my very first Warhammer tournament. Goody gumdrops. Thankfully, or as I soon found out, maybe unthankfully, BOWLERBEARD's house wasn't far from my parents' house at all. If I wanted to, I could have walked there. It was maybe 2 to 3 miles away. What were the odds, right? As I arrive, I notice it's a pretty big house with a lot of undeveloped land around it. Just a big house on a dirt lot with a shed in the back. And now this dirt lot was doubling as the tournament parking lot for at least a dozen cars that were parked there. I always get creep vibes from like a random shed sitting on the property. You gotta go and check that shed out. Make sure that it's not a horror show inside there. I text Monk that I'm here and to come get me and to help me bring in the food. Hey babe! Quick kiss. Whoa! You brought a lot, Monk exclaims. He's wearing a real big fish shirt and some worn out jeans. Don't be silly. I know how hungry guys get when they're drinking. I'm worried this won't be enough. There's a lot more food inside, right? Slight concern in my voice. Yeah, BOWLERBEARD's laid the spread out, and some of the others brought some stuff too, says Monk. Oh, you guys are drinking too. So it's time for Palutan. Palutan? I'm not good at pronunciations. It's a word, I swear. Relief comes over my face, and Monk leads me inside for the grand debut. As the door opens, I am immediately blasted with sensory overload, a cacophony of smells, sounds, and visual displays. My nose reacts first, as it inhales the most interesting mixture of scents. Microwave foods, meated cheese, paint, unwashed bodies, BO, and curiously a very strong chicory and tobacco smell. Well, at least the smells aren't like 100% horrible, maybe 80 or 90%, but we take any relief that we can get. Next, my ears focus on the music emanating from the built-in whole house speaker system. Classical music, violin based. This is ambient though, and drowned out by the loud raucousness coming from the other rooms. Blood for the blood god! What's your weapon skills? Skull for the skull throne! He's dead. A ward save? No fair! My eyes find their way to the kitchen, which is adjacent to the entry foyer, and my eyes take in the spread. As my nose tried to warn me earlier, the table had an assortment of Hot Pockets, bagel bites, pizza rolls, mozzarella sticks, chips, sodas of all kinds, and chicken tendies. Of course. In honest truth, there was actually a large amount of food. I use that term loosely. Was it healthy? Hell no. Was it real food? Not even close. Was it edible? Yeah, sure. I guess. If you want to do that to yourself. But I would totally do that to myself. There's also an untouched vegetable dip platter and an assortment of store-bought cookies and brownies too. Yeah, you always gotta break out the crudité, even if nobody touches the shit. Monk led me into the kitchen so we could make room for the food that I brought and calls out, "Hey everyone, Lady Roxers is here. Come meet her. She brought food." The ruckus from the other room immediately died down, and a stampede came forth from multiple avenues of approach. The way this house was designed is that the kitchen was accessible from 3 different areas, and from all 3 directions, they came. Babe, this is Kettle, Vampire, Tower, Chatterbox, Rat, Mean Elf, Lizard, Hippie Elf, and Galahad. Oh, and you remember BOWLERBEARD. I am assaulted by a flurry of hands coming in for handshakes, tons of excited greetings, and the tip of one party store bowler hat. I hope you wash your hands after. This many beard hands, something foul is involved, I'm sure. Now, dear reader, I ask you, do you believe that the cast I just listed contained even a single other girl? Come on, even one. Well, if you said yes, you would be absolutely wrong. Nobody said yes, though. Damn it, I thought. I'm the only girl here, and that feeling is amplified as I am definitely overdressed for this occasion, or maybe at least not appropriately dressed. Their eyes are laser focused on me. I should have worn a hoodie and some jeans. In comparison, they're all wearing different kinds of nerd or gamer shirts, all faded or ill-fitting, or both. A couple of them are barefoot, Some have sandals, and the rest have shoes. The one known as Rat had what I now know is called a trilby. All in all, a very casual setting. It's nice to finally meet all of you. I brought some food that I made for y'all. Filipino noodles and egg rolls. I gestured to the aluminum trays. Suspicious eyes turned towards the offered fare. Monk grabbed the tray of lumpia, uncovered them, and presented them to the group. "Try these, guys. They're the best," Monk stated. And he's not just being nice about that. Lumpia kicks ass. They all started grabbing them and trying them and seemed to enjoy, most coming back for handfuls of seconds. And once I unveiled the sweet chili dipping sauce, ooh, it was a done deal. They were sold on them. For years after this event, this was my #1 requested food item from this crew. They enjoyed the noodles too, but the lumpia was like crack for them. I even heard comparisons to taquitos. Asian taquitos. Yes, but no. I helped myself to a chicken tender while the others attacked the food. And surprisingly, it was quite good. Spicy, yet not too spicy, and wonderfully flavorful. They probably cooked it with 2 full sticks of butter on the cooking tray. That's a throwback to the Ramtide Nami-kun saga. Wow, these are really tasty. Did you guys have them catered? I asked.
No, that's my family secret recipe. No one can resist them,
BOWLERBEARD stated proudly, with a big shining smile. Well, maybe shining isn't the right word. His plaque-covered, yellowed teeth had globs of marinara sauce shoved up into the recesses of where gum met tooth. Oh, Jesus. Are we sure his mouth wasn't just bleeding? It looked like a macabre horror show. Oh, well, they're very tasty, I tell him, but my appetite had suddenly vanished, replaced by a queasy feeling.
Now, BOWLERBEARD, don't be going and giving away all the family secrets.
A deep voice came from around the corner. In walked an older man who looked like a young Gary Sinise. Tight smile on his face and a confident bearing to him, but still a beard voice. Lady Roxers, this is Mr. BOWLERBEARD, BOWLERBEARD's dad, Monk introduced.
You can call me Prepper,
BOWLERBEARD's dad says, as he extends his hand for a very firm handshake. His moniker will become obvious a bit later on.
Is that pan seat? I haven't had good Filipino food since I worked the casinos in Vegas,
Prepper said, as he started to make himself a plate.
Come on, everybody. Grab your food and head back to your games. We can eat as we war. Lady Roxers, let me give you a tour, an explanation of what's going on. It's my duty as host,
BOWLERBEARD proudly stated, as he came up to me and draped a big, squishy, smelly arm around my shoulder, gesturing with his other arm in a sweeping motion. This is where I should mention that BOWLERBEARD was wearing a sleeveless shirt. Oh no. So I could feel the scratchy, damp tickle of his armpit hair on my shoulder. Oh! Terrible. As he pulled me away to start the tour, I turned to look for Monk for help. Monk just smiled and gestured for me to go with him. I've got to get back to crushing lizard, babe. I'll see you in a bit. Well, you're no hope at all. And with that, I got left in BOWLERBEARD's tender care, and the grand tour started. Arm still wrapped around me as he dragged me around the family abode. The pungent aroma of unwashed neckbeard, sweaty armpit, and stale marinara breath washed over me as he conducted the tour. I could even feel little rivulets of moisture drip from where his armpit met my shoulder. God, Jesus, why? That's about the point where you have to say something. You're like, excuse me. I'm uncomfortable with this. Even in the third person, it's making me uncomfortable. He took me from the kitchen into a massive living room, decorated in what I can only describe as a mix of American frontier and Old English. It felt like I had entered a nobleman's hunting lodge. There were numerous statuettes of animals, mostly wolves, also paintings of wolves. There were also a couple of taxidermied birds mounted to plaques on the walls, and even a deer head with huge antlers. Is Papa BOWLERBEARD a wolf beard? It's possible. There was a very old and expensive looking grandfather clock in one corner, and all the furniture was wood, except the sofas, which were a dark brown pleather. There was a big screen TV in the room as well. This was before plasma and flat screens, so it was one of those huge 100-ton behemoths that was encased in wood and commanded an entire room. 2 massive tower speakers flanked it.
My dad loves wolves.
Here we go.
He says it's our family totem animal. I prefer dragons myself, but wolves are cool.
BOWLERBEARD stated.
Down that hall are the bedrooms. Mine's to the left, and my little sister Chan's is across from mine. The master bedroom is to the right. No reason to go down this hall, though. My dad says it's off limits to guests, 'cause all of his guns are there.
Oh, okay. Got it. Off limits. Where are your mom and sister? I ask.
I don't know. Out doing girl stuff.
He shrugged, non-interestedly. He then led me to another room, which is where the tournament proper was taking place. It's a large rec room with a pool table in it, plus a little bar and a dartboard on the far wall. Wood panels run halfway up the walls, and there's an old-timey green glass chandelier fixture hanging over the pool table. Well, seems like Mr. BOWLERBEARD got some money. What's his job? On the pool table, the boys had laid out 2 large pieces of plywood on both ends, extending the table out, and it appeared that this setup was hosting 2 separate games, as there were 2 contenders on either side, and the boards had a little break between them for a border. It was Monk versus Lizard, and the other side was Tower versus Mean Elf. For those of you that know Warhammer Fantasy, you've already probably figured out why the new characters are named as they are. But for those of you who are not familiar, they are named for the armies that they were playing. Well, Rat is my favorite already. Monk was playing as a race called the High Elves, and his opponent Lizard was playing, well, Lizard Men, a race of dinosaur people. And Tower was playing a race of dwarves, while his opponent were Dark Elves, basically evil elves, with a BDSM type flourish to them. Oh, we don't need to attach that to it. Dark elves already get a bad rap without kinkifying it. The other matches were taking place in the garage, which was very hot and muggy since the circulation was basically nil. They had fans in there, but all that did was push around the stench cloud of sweaty, greasy boys who had enjoyed too many microwave delicacies. You know the humid, muggy feeling? Yeah, it was that, but the humidity was created from the greasy sweatiness of a bunch of boys
Making war.
in a hot, stifling garage. Sounds like hell. You could taste them on the air. It had the cloying, heavy taste of stale cooking oil, and that is what I imagine licking a damp armpit would be like. We don't need to go there either. God damn. Oh, and don't let me forget the multi-axe. No. This isn't some sort of medieval weapon or fancy modern tool. This is what happens when you have multiple people all wearing Axe body spray crammed together in a room. The Axe smells all merge into a new scent. Multi-Axe, if you will. Just an abortion of smells. I shudder to think of what would be if these smells merged in such a way to create sentience. When your smells combined, I am Captain Axe! Or Captain Lynx if you're in the UK. Plates of food, energy drinks, and sodas were everywhere. Rat, who played the army of rat men, was even drinking out of a 2-liter of some sort of green soda. It would be fitting to say that it was Mountain Dew, but I think it was actually a generic brand called Mountain Thunder. I remember seeing a lot of generic soda in the kitchen. I tried to skedaddle out of there fast after waving and being polite, but BOWLERBEARD encouraged me to go further into the garage. He wanted to show me these 2 giant chest freezers. Please don't have a body in there. Please don't have a body in there.
This one here is reserved for me, so if you're ever over here and get hungry, help yourself.
He then opened it up, and it was brimming to the top with what looked like an entire store freezer section's worth of Hot Pockets, all pepperoni flavored. He smiled at his Hot Pocket hoard proudly. That's adorable. He then showed me an old Jeep that he said his dad had been restoring, as well as a bunch of boxes and tools and such, all of which he said were also his dad's. I also noticed a large safe tucked away in the corner next to the workbench with what looked like a CB radio on it, or maybe it was one of those old school ham radios. I don't really know. After BOWLERBEARD showed me the games going on in the garage and explained that the winners of each match would then square up against each other, he went back to his own game versus Galahad. BOWLERBEARD was playing a demon army, reminiscent of traditional demons, while Galahad played an army of medieval knights. Before rejoining his battle, though, he did make me an offer.
You know, Lady Roxers, I'm the best player here, so if you want to learn how to play, I could teach you. Not many girls play this because it takes a lot of intellect to understand it.
Oof.
This is a game of cunning and smarts. There's also not really a girl army either, but you can play Slanesh. It's basically a sex demon army. God. And some of their models have boobs, so you know.
He shrugged. I don't even know where to start with that shit. It started off so well. Oh, he's offering to play. Oh, he thinks girls aren't intellectual enough to understand it. Bro, girls are way more cunning and smart than dudes. I'm sure most people are willing to admit that. And then the fact that you basically want to pigeonhole her into playing an army that has boobs. Why can't a girl play as rat men or whatever the hell else she wants? I'm already exhausted. I just stared at him and thanked him as he went off to his battle. I'll be honest, there was a lot going on and a lot to take in, and at the time I was just beyond overwhelmed. The guys tried to explain some of the lore and story to me at the time, and I found it interesting. In fact, while the boys played, I would steal their rulebooks and flip to the lore sections to learn as much as I could about these mythical races and cultures. By my own admission, this was my gateway into fantasy nerddom and nerddom in general. Before this, I was really only exposed to Harry Potter and Sailor Moon. Stepping your nerd game up. The Warhammer franchise, to this day, is one of my favorite universes, as is the Warhammer 40k series set in the far future of Earth. I am a lore junkie. I love fantasy worlds and what-if scenarios, alternate history and all that. Books equal life. As far as actually playing the games, though, yeah, I could never get into that. It just took way too long. Seeing the little miniatures was neat, but I just couldn't get into playing. I just got bored. Yeah, that is a pretty big bottleneck. There's also the bottleneck of how much the fucking figures actually cost. That's basically what kept me away from it for so long. Just couldn't afford it. Even now, when I probably could afford it, I just don't know if I want to invest that kind of money in a plastic figurine army. So while epic war was waged, I read. I'm not ashamed to say that I own a massive collection of novels from the Black Library. A few hours passed, and contenders were defeated. Some, like Mean Elf and Rat, both departed after being defeated. When Rat left, I did notice him sneak into the kitchen and make a plate to go, piled high with chicken tenders. He made a quick, furtive glance around, and then out the front door he went. Rat sticking to his namesake, I guess. Although every time that I've had like a birthday or anything over here in the Philippines, everybody makes a to-go plate, so I don't find it weird anymore. Mean Elf seemed to be extremely upset over his loss and was visibly seething, so I think he left out of sheer anger. Galahad, Vampire, Hippie Elf, and Lizard all stuck around after their defeats. They either watched the ongoing matches, chowed down on some cold chicken tendies and Hot Pockets, worked on critiquing where their armies went wrong, or played some Super Smash Bros., the original, on N64, on a little TV set up in the corner of the room, away from Prepper. Like I said, this house was huge, and the living room was plenty big enough to actually be 2 separate rooms, almost. The matches came down to the final 4. BOWLERBEARD's Demons versus Kettle's Human Empire, and Tower's Dwarves versus Chatterbox's, Evil Dwarves. "The Empire will not fall to you, vile scum!" exclaimed Kettle, as he thudded his chest with his fist.
"We'll see,"
BOWLERBEARD said, matter-of-factly. I sat on a bar stool, perusing one of the books, and occasionally looking up to see what was going on. "I estimate 27 inches to hit," states Tower as he rolls some dice. "You need glasses. This is way too short. You'll never hit him. Oh my god," said Chatterbox confidently. Rolls of dice, cries of woe and triumph, and another hour or so of play are followed by,
"Boom! I win! Your general flees in terror, and your army's been routed. Squishy little human. You barely killed anything. You should play a better army next time. Give me a challenge,"
BOWLERBEARD said condescendingly. Kettle stared at him, annoyed. "Making my army run away instead of fighting them is a cheap win, BOWLERBEARD."
Yeah. Don't be a sore sport. You never had a chance anyway. My grandfather was in the army, so strategy's in my blood.
I don't think that's how it works, BOWLERBEARD stated proudly. Kettle was about to respond when Tower clapped his hands loudly. "Goodbye, Chatterbox. I estimate 5 inches for these cannons, 1 inch for this one, and 7 inches for the last 2. All aimed at your general." As he played out his turn, Chatterbox's general was ripped to shreds, and most of his remaining army fled the field. Okay, I concede. Whoa, I got nothing left, man." And with that, it was BOWLERBEARD versus Tower. As the boys set up the last grand battle of the night, I went to the living room and joined Prepper, who was watching a documentary about aliens or something, while smoking a cigar and drinking what I found out was bourbon. The chicory and tobacco smell clung to him. Well, that explains that. "Thanks for having everyone over. You have a very nice house. Is all this land yours?" I asked.
"Yes, ma'am. I bought the land when it was cheap and built the house on top of it. Did you see the shed and trailer parked in the back? That's what we all lived in while the house was being built,"
stated Prepper. "Oh, wow. It must have been hard cramming the whole family in there."
"Yeah, it was tough for the girls, but I've been teaching the family how to rough it for a while. You never know when you might need to disappear and go to ground someday,"
he said seriously. "Go to ground?" I asked.
"You know, just in case of revolution or if the New World Order finally reveals itself. Or if little spacemen come."
Stop.
You can never be too careful. Did you see those boxes in the garage? 3 years of preserved foods, water, and survival needs are stored there. And I have more in the shed. Even got some gas masks. I got me some property up in Oregon I'm working on too. If things get too hot, we'll beat feet up there. How about you? Is your family prepared?
Not as prepared, surely. No, it's just me and my mom. My dad passed away when I was little, I said.
This world's a dangerous place, young lady. Lots of bad things going on and lots of bad people. If something ever happens, you don't hesitate to come out here and bring your mom.
Oh, no.
Things will be tough when it all ends, but you have a good vibe to you. The world won't be a safe place for 2 women to be, by themselves,
he said, solemnly concerned. Don't you do it, OP. Don't you ever do it. This is a fate worse than death, I assure you. Thank you. I appreciate it, I said. I've never really been much into the conspiracy theories and all that kind of stuff, but it was pretty obvious that Prepper was. He was nice enough, though. Not sure if many folks would offer up their Armageddon food and shelter to a total stranger. I hate to break it to you, OP, but he needs women to help him repopulate the planet. Don't do it. I focus back on reading my book and hanging out with Prepper, occasionally looking up to watch some of his documentary. Epic battle noises are coming from the other room as dice are thrown, and the remaining players all cheer on one side or the other. It got late though, and I was getting really sleepy. It was getting hard to contain the yawns.
You should go home before you're too tired to drive,
Prepper said. I could tell he was getting sleepy too. Or maybe it was just the alcohol taking its toll. The cigar was down to a nub. I think this might have been his second one. I smile and nod, and then get up to check on the boys. Do you remember that cloying, oily garage smell that I mentioned earlier? Yeah, it permeated the little rec room now too, as all the boys from the garage had relocated into it. I like to think of it as like a bunch of pig pens from Charlie Brown crammed into a tiny little room. Many stink clouds floating above all of them. Grossed out, I said my goodbyes from afar and gave Monk the look. We all know that look. He gets up from his position and walks me to the door and tells me that Tower and BOWLERBEARD will probably be planned for a while still, and that he'll let me know the results. As we were saying our goodbyes, though,
wait, I'm just about to win. Just let me finish my turn,
BOWLERBEARD yells out. I look at Monk and nod as he shrugs, and we return to the room to watch this play out. Okay, but I really have to leave after this turn, I say. True to his word, BOWLERBEARD crushed Tower this turn, using much of the same tactics that he had used against Kettle.
See? Yes, I win,
BOWLERBEARD exclaims as he starts dancing around the room and singing,
I am the champion, my friend, and I'll keep on fighting till I win. Bye, 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 bye. Told you I was the best player here.
BOWLERBEARD smirks while looking at me and giving himself a thumbs up. The self thumbs up. That's so sad. I just smile and tell him, yeah, congratulations. Everyone starts to clean up and I finally get to leave since a champion has been declared. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a mini prequel into the early days of my interaction with BOWLERBEARD. Take this as a prequel of sorts. Hope all is well with everyone. I'll rack my brain for a more exciting story next time, as I know that this one was more of a nerddom heavy story than a cringy one. Hope you all enjoyed it anyways. Oh, and I tried to change my writing style a little bit this time. Less script style and more novel style. Please let me know if it was better or worse. Talk to y'all later. Ta-ta. Well, BOWLERBEARD's just a sore winner, isn't he? He probably thought he could impress m'lady, maybe swoop his friend's girl by winning a Warhammer tournament, or I don't know what goes on in a deluded beard's mind, but I got some major creep vibes from this one, man. He's showing off his Hot Pocket collection and shit, and like, how am I even supposed to react to this, dude? What is happening? I guess OP had the right response, like, hey, great, good for you. Your dad makes a good living and buys you a bunch of Hot Pockets. Let's have a round of applause for the Hot Pocket freezer. Super weird, super ridiculous. Good Lord, BOWLERBEARD. And even Mr. BOWLERBEARD, you know, Prepper seems nice enough, but there is some sinister undertone. I think that Roxers just might be too pure of heart to really catch on to all that is implied there. But obviously everything didn't fall apart, you know. As for the final question in the post, if I prefer like a script style or a novel style, it doesn't matter to me. Novel style obviously offers like a bit less chance for voices, but some people like the voices, some people don't like the voices, so I gotta go right down the middle and say, do what feels best for you, OP. And I will be here to read it, and we'll all probably be here to consume it. It's good stuff, so keep it coming. I do appreciate yous, and I hope that everyone else will show their appreciation by liking, commenting, and or subscribing on this video if you have not already. That is hugely appreciated. You could also share it around if you want to be like ultra extra cool. We got some links in the description. I hope you'll check out some of those. Click around down there. Lots of plugs and social medias. Twitter, Discord, Facebook. Yes, indeed. Also, my gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful, generous patrons. And I'd like to thank them all, as I always do. So thank you very much. Calvicus, Fatboy Shrimp, Robert Waits, TSM Kirby, Aaron W, Twisted Child, Delicious Jelly Donut, Candy Sora, Fire Drake, Livison, Mr. Anime Manga Fan, Silent Revolver, Zero MMX, Magdalene Marshall, Thornrose, Little Lone Wolf, Vanilla Mel, Rouse Tower, Satori, Babsy-kun, Caustic Fox, Disposable Waifu, Aaron Lennox, Fisher Diggy, Hadrian BR, Heathcliff, OG James Cook, a pimp named Jay Crisp, JM Coon, Jerry, John Hero, Miss Monday, Lord Lionel, Melgar the Destroyer, Mirthful Baker, my boy Nat One Nick, Lady Nix, Origami Steve, Katykins Elizabeth, Sidestep, Side Drinker, Serrated Ash, Siegfried, Synaptic Boomstick, Brilliant Tamago, Teddy the Ferret, Teddy the Police, 10-Ton Monster, That Duck and Bug, The One True Fusky, Treeberg, Wilmags, Redwind, Goose S. Honk, Leon Embers, Naga Viper, John Indoors, A Normal Joe, Amara, Roxers are OP for this story. Thank you so much. ×2. Cake Jerry, that's a different Jerry. Cinnamon Bunny Dog, KJW, Kajow, Crafty Kitty Cat, Little Ann Woods, Mark 211, maybe next time, Milkfed Gimp, Miss Duchess, Organic Cam, Princess Rosalie, Ghosty, Raptor Heart, Ellie, The Last Shinobi, and the Necrobomicon. Thank you guys all for supporting the channel in the way that you do. Oh, but wait, we have a new friend joining us today. Jackets Rule 2020. Jackets Rule. Is that like a sports thing that I'm missing out on, or just the clothing in general? Take off your pants and jackets. Definitely appreciate you as well. Welcome to the fold. Happy to have you. I do hope that some other people will consider supporting on the Patreon, but if you can't do it right now, friends, don't sweat it too hard. I just appreciate you coming on through, hanging out with me, and I hope that you come on back and hang out with me again tomorrow. In order to do so, you need to keep yourself safe out there. Wash your hands, but also take some time out and do something that you personally enjoy today. Maybe, watching some more ReddX video, if you want. Always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, and you definitely deserve it. I shall see you in the next one, and until then, friends, bye-bye.